This week's tech tip, we're going to be covering how to set your knock point height, where to set that from initially the startup phase of setting up your bow, and also how to tie on a tied-on knock point so that you can adjust your knock point without having to take your D-loop on and off and risk moving things. So a couple things you need: you're going to have a level that goes under your bowstring. You're going to need a level that goes under arrow. You're going to need a section, two sections of, I use two sections of probably, this is 25 thousandths serving material, about 16 inches long. And so to start with, you're going to make sure your bow is set level on a horizontal and vertical plane using this level. We're perfectly level this way and this way. So we know we're set correctly there. And then what we're going to do is get our level set. And I've got this kind of preset for you, but you want to have the knock point be about a 32nd to a 16th inch knock high. That's a great starting point for almost all bows. Some bows you may need to go up just a little bit more, some down a little bit more to get it perfectly level. But a good rule of thumb is to have the level, the bubble touching the back end of your level line, so to speak, and that gives you right around that 32nd or so knock high. Notice also that I have a Peep Sight installed in the string. It's not set, it's just in the string because this is separating the strands a little bit, and thereby it's minutely changing the distance or the string length if you really want to be very picky about it. So if you throw a Peep Sight in the string before you make your level adjustments, whenever you're done, you're pretty much good to go. And so next I'll show you step by step how to do this tie-on knock point. It's simply a handover or a knot front back all the way up, and then I like to do one top and bottom. And what that does is it really, on our servings, it's so tight, and if you have a good string, your center serving is going to be really tight. You'll be able to actually thread that as a tied-on nut up and down the serving if you need to make any adjustments. Makes it very easy to adjust your knock point if need be. So starting, and you can see I've already tied an overhand knot on the top of my knock point. Now I'm simply going to take and tie an overhand knot on the back side, like so. I'm pulling that in on top of the serving that goes around the string. Now we're going to do one on the front side. Try to get my hands out of the way so we can see. We're pulling this in tight. Doing one on the back side. This is the fourth one. Now, at this point, we're going to need one of these little loops, and it's just a little serving thread that I have tied in a knot to make a loop. I'm going to insert this into the loop I've made here. So we're going to be inserting this on the back side into this loop. Matter of fact, I'm going to do this way. Let's take this thing off. Let's do one more knot on the back. It doesn't really matter how many knots you make. The key is so that they're the same. And for the sake of showing you, this will make more sense. So we'll put the sixth one on the front. And then we're going to take this loop section and we're going to insert it right through this loop that we've made on the string. Now we're going to pull. This can get a little bit tricky. We're going to pull this tight. See how my knot is attaching itself, it's tying this loop tightly onto the center serving. Now I've got that in place, I'm going to make one more knot on the back end of the serving. Like so. Okay, now here's the trick. Now that we have our loop in place, what this is for is to pull these tag ends through the knot and come out the front side. So I'm going to insert this one on the back side of the serving through the loop. The other tag end I'm going to run on the other side of the string. And now you can see I have my tag ends coming through the loop. Now all I have to do is pull this loop down like so and work this through, and Now my tag ends that were knotted on the back side are through the loop, or through the knots, coming out the front side. This cinches everything in place. Now what we're going to do is cut this off about an 1/8, 16th to an 1/8 inch out, and we're going to burn and melt that in place. And here you want to be careful not to melt any of the string. We're just going to touch that in place. And now you have a tied-on nut, so to speak, that you can thread up and down the string. Doing the bottom one, we're going to do the exact same thing, just in reverse order, with the loop on the bottom side. So again, we're going to start getting our bottom one, and I am tying that on about a 1/64 of an inch below the knock, giving it just a tiny bit of play. Once we have that in place, we're going to do our 2, 3, 4, and then on the 5th one, at the same spot like we went up, we're going down. Now we're going to insert our loop downward, and we're going to do the same thing we did on the top side, pulling this snug and tight. Now we have a loop on the front side of the string. We're going to make the 6th knot on the back side. And once again, pull the tag ends into place, or pull the tag ends through the loop. So back side of the string, made this one a little small, but front side of the string, and now we're going to work this through. Once again, cutting this off and melting this in place. Perfect. There you have it. Okay, so now we've tied on our top and bottom knock point, and now we're simply installing the D-loop. The reason for this, to do these tied-on knock points, is one, the same amount of knocks top and bottom, so you have equal tension on top and bottom of the knock, helping your arrow flight be very consistent. The other thing too is just a concrete reference of where that is at. If you tie your D-loop on and something moves, if your D-loop moves, slides on the string, gets loose, some reason or other, if you have these tied on knock points in place, you always have a reference that's not going to move and slide. And so therefore you can, when you're paper tuning, you can thread these up or down like I talked about earlier, and you're not going to have to worry about where your D-loop is at. Once you have everything set, you just tighten your D-loop back on and you're good. Thanks for watching.